This is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. I am coming to you live from my craft room here in Florida, and I just wanted to check in and see how everyone is doing while we're going through this social distancing. If you've gotten my newsletter, you know that I did put out a social distancing through crafting campaign, and I've been very active on my Facebook site, Stamping Fusion, working with a lot of my members with all kinds of projects every week. So I hadn't had an opportunity to get onto live here on my YouTube channel except for the videos that I've been creating and uploading. And hopefully you've been enjoying those. So I just wanted to give you an update. Social distancing is very challenging, and I don't know whether you're from Australia or you're in Canada or here in Florida or any other part of the United States. I just want you to know that I'm here, and I just wanted to support anyone who's out there who may need to log on and kind of see what is going on in someone else's craft room. So let me show you some of the things that I've been putting together. Well, first of all, on my Stamping Fusion site, I was coming up with some fancy fold cards. One of the fancy folds I came up with is a card called the Twisted Easel card. If you like this card and would like to see some more information, put it in the comments section so I can go ahead and provide some information. Otherwise, it's going to be on my blog as to all the directions that you need to make this. This is not a hard card to make. But with the Twisted Easel card, here's another example of the card I made. Now you can use your envelope builder to come up with a very nice envelope builder envelope for this card. I just made one because I made this for my niece. So it looks kind of pretty when you set it like this, and you can put it on a dresser. Isn't that pretty? The next challenge I was given was to come up with this is the double twisted easel card, and it looks kind of funny because you'll notice that the fronts are kind of facing each other, but when you open it up, it opens up nicely like this, and you can put this on your, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now, I have a piece of extra paper that I put here to kind of catch the ends of the corners of the card here. But you can also put, for one version I made that I'm sending to my mother and my sister, I just put some pearls right there, and it kind of catches that end. But I just thought this was really a beautiful little card, very easy to make. So hopefully everyone can hear me, and I'm going to just send out a little message here to see if I've got any people on, and for them to please say hello. So that's another card that I'm going to put on my blog, and it's been keeping me busy. Doing these kind of projects and kind of challenging myself to come up with things I wouldn't normally do. So the next challenge that I've been doing is, and I'm going to show you a box. This is my box of cards that I have made for my campaign, Give a Smile, Send a Card, or Make a Card. It's also on my blog. And what I'm doing is there are a number of organizations that are looking for cards for either sick children, and I have them on my blog. So I make very simple cards, and here are some samples right here. And I've been predominantly focused with, and let me show you this, with making these wobble cards. I think those are just so fun, and they would really, really appeal to little kids in the hospital. Now, if you go to my blog, and I'll leave a link in the bottom, you have to be very careful about what you put on the cards. They do have to be kind of simple. So here's another one, and I know that I have some videos, but I just wanted to show you that I've been putting all of these together, and they're all destined. They're all destined, and that's what my cover on my YouTube video is. Over 50 cards destined for the hospitals for young kids. Now, the other thing that's important is there are parents that are involved at a very hard time when they have sick children, and they are also looking for cards or thank you cards that you can send to the hospital for the parents. I'm working right now with the University of New Mexico with their pediatrics department, because they would like to give cards so that the parents can send out thank you cards to their to people who are supporting them while their children are ill in the hospital. There are people that are on meal trains, or even relatives or neighbors that are helping them while they take care of their children. So this is another option to sit down during this time when we have quiet time and we can be alone in our crafts room, to just come up with a bunch of cards that we can send out that are always, always welcome. So here's my box for this month, and I'm going to be making more cards for the next month. But one of the things that I wanted to focus on was for those of our health workers that are doing everything that they can right now to support us. And this is a card that was inspired by Aloha Stamping, and let me see if I can find, hold on, let me see her, stampedwithaloha.com. I believe she has a video that shows how to put these together, but I came up with some ideas that I wanted to share with you now on live. So if you just want to stick with me, please stick with me. Say hi. Hi, oh my, Simone Newman. Hello from Luxembourg. I hope that everything is well with you, and thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you can hear everything well. Okay, so let me go ahead and shift my camera position, and let's talk about how we can put this card again, stamped, let me see, make sure I get this right. It is stampedwithaloha.com is the woman that I'm giving credit for coming up with this, but I just kind of want to show some of the things that I did to case, right? Copy and share everything, especially when it came to making the faces. Now, I made a couple of faces, and the little eyes were kind of atrocious. So I thought, well, maybe if someone decides to make these, that they can benefit from a little tutorial on how to make the faces. Now, if you've read my bio, you know that I taught art for a middle school after I retired from the military. So I also have a background in fine art. So I kind of like teaching. That's kind of my happy place. So let me give you some tips on how to make this kind of fun. And you don't have to stress about, oh my gosh, how am I going to put this face together? It's really very, very easy. And I've taught some of my members on Stampin' Fusion how to do that as well. Okay, so let me see if I can master this this camera angle, and we'll get started on this. So let me go over here, and okay, so you should be able to see my cards. I'm going to turn this upside down because I actually have to do everything upside down when I'm doing a live video because of how my camera is organized. So here's the card, and what I'm going to start with is a whole bunch of punches that you're going to need to put these together. And again, these These are stamped with Aloha.com's ideas. So I'm going to set these here. The punches that you're going to need are, you're going to need a 1 1/4. You're going to need the tulip punch, and you're going to need this cake punch right here. Remember that cake builder punch. You're going to need a 2-inch circle punch, and the varied vases, the balloon builder punch, and the 1-inch circle punch. Okay, so these are all the punches that are needed to put this together. So let me go ahead and put the punches aside, and I will have them in my blog so that you can see how these get put together. Okay, so those are the punches. Now the colors that you're going to need is, I used like a soft pink, and here's some pink colors. I'm just kind of using some scraps. You're going to need some Whisper White. I've got some Whisper White here. You're going to need some red, and I'm choosing, and you're going to need some black for the hair. I've got some black, and I'm choosing to use mint macaron for scrubs. Now I made mine with scrubs. This is how the original was made. This was kind of my test one, where it has, the nurse has a little hat and she has a little heart, and I believe the guy had the scrubs, but I decided to put them both in scrubs. I have a family member who's a nurse, and I know that they wear scrubs all the time, so I kind of wanted to keep them in scrubs. I also stamped, this comes from this wonderful little Thank You for Caring right here, comes from the Label Me Pretty stamp set. And it's just a nice little circle, and I believe I cut it out with, forget what circle punch it was. I don't know if it was 1 inch, but I have a circle punch that I punched that out with. And if I don't have it here, oh yeah, it was the 1 1/4 is the one that I stamped that out with. So you do need that 1 1/4 to stamp out this. I also used, now this is retired. I found this in the back of my drawer, and I just thought this was really lovely. This is a World, what is it? It's the World Traveler textured embossing folder, and I thought this was perfect for what we were trying to convey with everyone supporting, especially our healthcare workers supporting the world. So this is the embossing folder that I used. So let me put these aside, and let me get out what your base card is going to be. So I'm going to make 2 of them, because I'm going to make the male and the female. So you need a base card here of, what is it, 5 1/2 and 4 1/4, right? And we're going to score that in the middle. And then I'm using a layered, and I'm using real red here, and this is going to be at, I believe it's 4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to grab my my little cutting board here, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fold this. I'm going to create my fold for my white, and I'm creating that at 4 1/4. This is the new cutting board. I don't know if you have it, Simone, but I love it because it's really helped me to kind of see what's going on between the cutting blades. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm very quickly, carefully rather, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to emboss this using my embossing folder, and run this through my Big Shot off camera. I hope, Simone, how is everything in Luxembourg? Let's see. How is everything going in Europe? We watch the news. I get the BBC News and watch everything that's going on as these, this virus just kind of ravishes. But I find that when I craft, it kind of keeps me calm. And I don't have to worry about what's going on. In other words, when I start getting stressed, when I'm hearing all the news, I like to come into my classroom. I like to breathe, and it just helps me to calm myself. And if I can do something like this, I made over, I think, like 8 or 9 of these, and I sent them to my family member who's a nurse, so that she can share them with the people on her floor. I also have other friends that are nurses as well, so I just think it's really important. Okay, so there you go. You can see how pretty that is. So that is the base, our base cards. We're going to set that aside. And now we're going to start building. Our people. So what you need is this balloon punch, and you're going to need. I'm just going to go ahead. These are the faces. So go ahead and cut 2 faces, and you can kind of get rid of these other pieces. We're going to cut 2 faces here. Now you're going to need the ears, and the ears are using this little piece is what they used for the ears and the nose. So you need 3 of these for each face. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3. Oops, that one didn't come out. If I can line that up. 3. Oops, and they fly all over. So here's my 3 pieces for that. Let's get our extra pieces out of the way. And I'm going to cut my 3 pieces for my other one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me gather my 3 pieces. I got 3 there. I got 3 there, and 1 flew off my table. And if I think I can find it. Oh, I got my 3 pieces. See that? I got my 3 pieces, so I'm just going to put those right there. Okay. Next, we're going to need the bodies. Now, the bodies for the women, for the female, for our nurse, is going to be the same punch. It's going to be the balloon punch, and I'm using mint macaron for the scrubs. So there's her body. His body is going to be the 2-inch punch. So let me get the 2-inch punch right here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut his body. Okay, so now that we have that, body. All right, the hair is this wonderful, if you have this tulip punch. So I'm going to use black, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut 1. And that's one side of her hair, and it's going to be his hair. And let me find, okay, this fits nicely. And there's 2. And then I'm going to take the 2-inch circle punch, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut 1. Whoops. Boy, that one flew all the way across. Sorry. That one flew all the way across my craft room. There we go. And let me see if I can cut. I'm going to cut another one here. Okay. So I've got these 2 kind of pieces like that. And I probably want to trim this one. I'm just going to trim that right across. We're going to do some other things with that piece. But for now, we're just going to trim it. Okay, so I have my guy, got my girl, And the other piece that I used for the mask, now the original design was to use this cake builder punch, to use this as the hat. But nurses very rarely look like, nurses rarely look like that. So I kind of changed it up. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my mask, okay? And let me just move in a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go across and cut that right there. And that makes a perfect mask for the guy. And then this, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of curl some of my edges right here like that. And that's my mask for my nurse or my doctor. This could be a nurse, doctor, for the female. Okay, so now that we have those pieces, the first thing that you want to do is, I want you to look at your faces, okay? And you're going to go ahead and put your nose, and let me do this first. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to show you that if you take a face and you cut this in half like this, okay, the ears are going to go here, and then below the ears is going to go your nose, and then your eyes are going to go kind of like right there, okay? So let me show you how you do a face. So hopefully you can see that. All right? You kind of take and visually kind of cross it like this. So our ears are going to go right here. The bottom of our ears are going to go right there, and then our nose is going to kind of go along with our ear. So let's put that together. So I'm taking some glue, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue. Let me get this glue map is so nice for making sure that I don't get glue all over the place. So I'm using my silicone mat. Okay. So here's kind of my pattern for how I do a face. So I'm going to kind of just put this one here, right? And then I'm going to put some glue on this one. And don't be afraid of how to do faces. Faces it's all geometry. Okay? So you can see that's kind of lined up like that. All right. So now the bottom of the ears is where my nose is going to go. So I'm going to do my nose next. And I'm just going to take this little tulip and I'm going to line it up there and just put that right there. That's the bottom. Okay? That's the bottom of my ears. All right. So that is my face. Now let's do our other face. Again, using the same technique. We're going to take our ears, and I'm just going to go ahead and dab a little bit of glue right here. And we're just going to put it right there, right? And they don't have to be big. They don't have big ears. I think the whole point of just having ears is that, they need something for the face mask to go on. We're going to put that one there. Okay. So there's that. See how it kind of matches our little template there? And then we're going to put the nose. And the nose is going to go right at the bottom of the ears. Right? There's our line. It's going to go right there. right in the center. Alright, so there's our face. So now we can go ahead and we're going to come back to this when I put on the eyes. And you can see how nicely these fit for the masks. See that? They fit rather nicely. Actually, I could probably do 2 of those. So let me do another one, because I think that one's probably a better. For this face, again, I just cut the top of that cake builder punch and just kind of there. So that makes a very nice little mask. And the little mask is going to go right kind of to the top of the nose. Alright? So there's our faces and our nose. Next, we're going to do the hair. Now, we cut out these tulips are going to be the hair over here. And then this is going to be the hair for this guy right here. But I also kind of cut these out. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to put, this is her bang right there. Okay, you see her bang? But what we're going to do is we're going to take this and I'm going to kind of, I'm going to cut kind of her hair is going to go kind of to the side. So I'm just going to kind of cut there. And then I'm going to cut there to the side. So you see how her hair kind of goes to the side? Alright. So his hair is like this, and you have a choice. You can put this in the back and trim it. You can take your balloon punch and you can trim this, and you can give him a little bit more height and bring this, you can bring this down a little bit. See, if you want to. Or I think it's just simpler to just go ahead, kind of like the way it was originally designed, and just kind of put that on like that. Alright? So let's go ahead and put on our hair. So for him, I'm just going to kind of put the glue on where I want it to go. And it's going to go right here. And let me turn this around because I'm doing this upside down to show you. There's his hair. Okay, just went ahead and put that corner right back to this side and this side. All right. Now her hair, I put the bangs on first, and I put the bangs in the hair so it goes right to the top of her ears. So let's just go ahead and put some glue on here. And we're going to put her hair there, right to the top. And I'm going to kind of, because you got glue, it's kind of nice to be able to kind of even it out a little bit, okay? So we have her like that. Then I'm going to take, and I'm going to add some glue. Let me make sure this is straight. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the hair on. But before I put the back of the hair, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put their body on. So I'm going to take this small 1-inch punch, and I'm just going to very, very slightly cut the top of these, just slightly, because his head's going to go here, okay, right there, And I'm going to glue that on. And her head is going to go right there. I'm going to glue that on. And then what I'm going to do is I can put my mask, and I can cover the nose, because isn't that the whole point? You just kind of cover the nose like that. And we're going to put the hair on her. So we're going to put the glue right here. And because I have her body on, I like to put the hair kind of like that. So it kind of curls right around on her shoulders. You see that? How I just kind of curled that around on her shoulders? So I just kind of add some glue. And again, I'm just going to kind of curl this like that, right around her shoulders. And kind of join that with the edge of this her bangs. And let me make sure I have enough glue on here, because it just seems to be. Kind of stick that like that, and then there you go. Okay, so now to do the eyes, I'm going to put the masks are going to go like this. Now, if you look at the faces, you're going to want to do the eyes right here in the middle of the ears, right here, and you want to put them on either side of the nose like that. Okay, right here on either side of the nose. Now let me show you some eyes. Oh, okay, do you see how I did this one? Either side of the nose, I'm going to do an oval, a long oval like that. And once I do the long oval, depending on how big you want your eyes, then you go and you do almost like a comma, like that. And there's your eyes. So if you look at the side, it's a comma. Okay? And then you just kind of line it up with that imaginary line. If you want a girl eyes, well then you just put your lashes on. And then if you want eyebrows, you just go ahead and put eyebrows on. Very, very simple. Okay? So here is my girl. And here is my imaginary line. And I'm going to have to look at her. So I want her eyes to be right there and right there. Okay? I'm kind of matching my ovals like that. Alright? Let me just show you. There's her ovals. And then all I'm going to do is go here and here. Okay? You see how easy that was? Alright, because this is my girl, I'm just going to put a couple of lashes on her. There she is. There's her eyes. Isn't that simple? Okay, the next, our guy, same thing. Kind of imaginary line. So I'm going to do his eyes here and here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over and over. And there's his eyes. And then I'll just basically just do some very light brows. The brows don't have to be very dark. You just kind of want just kind of a hint of a brow. And there you go. So there are your eyes. That's a key part in putting this together, and nothing to be nervous about. Okay? So let's look at the masks. Okay, here are the masks. I'm turning them over right here. Now the masks were, let me show you the masks were the top, the small part of this, okay? And I'm going to take a gray, let's see, I have basic black. Oh yeah, so I have my Stampin' Write markers. And what I used for my eyes was, I used a journaling pen. So here's my journaling pen that I use for the eyes, all right? And then I'm using my Stampin' Write markers for the stitching around my mask. Now, black is too harsh, so I went with basic gray, and I'm going to use the pointy end. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to make sure I have this turned right. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to do just some nice light, very light dotted lines all the way around like that. Okay? Very light dotted lines all the way around, just like that. Okay, there's my masks. Save your pen because you're going to put them on their face now. And all I'm going to do is glue it up. And I'm going to put the mask right there, right in the middle of her face. And then I'm going to put his mask right in the middle of his face. See how nice that is? All right. So the only thing we have to do is the cross, or the medical cross. So to keep this simple, I just took a square piece of Real Red and I just cut it in half. Okay, I've got a square there and a square there. As best I could, I'm just going to make a cross out of this. And I'm just lining up my scissor cuts like that. Then I'm going to turn it to the side and I'm going to line it up like that. And as best as I can, that makes a pretty good cross. And if it's a little lopsided, you can always kind of trim it a little bit. There's his cross. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to kind of snip, and then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to snip the equal side on the other side. Snip. And is there anyone else on that wants to join us and say hi? Please say hello if you're on. Let us know how it's going out there. Because we're making cards for our favorite people. Our favorite people in the world right now are our healthcare professionals. Our healthcare professionals are saving the world one at a time. And the best we can do is just stay home and make cards. And even if you take a picture of this card, if you download this picture from my blog, send it virtually. I sent this virtually to all the doctors and nurses that are in my neighborhood, because I have there are several doctors and nurses, and I sent a bunch of these cards to my to some of my family members who are in the healthcare profession, and we worry about them. We worry about them
because they are trying to save lives and be safe with the members of their families. So it must be a stressful time. Okay, there they are. Isn't that cute? Now, I can tell you that if you really kind of wanted to do it the next level, you could probably emboss this with the soft textured embossing folder to kind of give it the look of material. That's a good idea. I always like to take it to the next level. All right. So now that we have our guys, what we're going to do now, let me move out so we can just put our card together, is we're going to put our world, we're going to put our world together. Or I guess another way of saying we're trying to keep our world together, right? So I'm just using some all-purpose glue. And I'm just going to put this on like this. Okay. I'm going to do this one, all-purpose glue. And I'm going to put this one here. Alright, so here are our cards, and she's going to go here and he's going to go here. Now, I'm going to cover up, because we have, the only person that said hello was Luxembourg, so we're going to leave Europe here, Luxembourg, just for you, because I appreciate you joining. I did get a comment from Australia on my Grace's Garden. It's so nice when I get comments. Okay, and then we're just going to cut those and just put them like that. And we're going to stamp. Let me get a piece of Whisper White. Let's see, I'm going to move my silicone sheet because it's got glue on it out of the way. I'm going to bring in this and my block because I'm going to stamp my sentiment with Memento Black. So let me get Memento Black here. And we're just going to stamp this up nice and here you go. And let me clean my stamp because invariably I'll put it aside and I'll forget it's got ink on it, needs to be cleaned, and then I'll do something silly like put my hand through it. Okay, so this is 1 1/4, and it works perfectly right there. And 1 1/4. And you could do something else if you wanted to. I just really like this sentiment. When I was looking for thank yous, I thought this was kind of the best thank you. The thank you for caring. Because, you know, that is exactly what everybody's doing. Is, you know, they're caring for us. So now we're going to get some dimensionals, and we're going to, oops, let me put my glue away. We're going to pop these up on some dimensionals. So here's my dimensionals, and I'm just going to kind of, now, you know, if you're worried about how everything is kind of sticking together, sometimes I put my dimensionals at the joints to make sure that my pieces don't fall off. And I'm probably overdoing it with dimensionals, but I don't care. Dimensionals are the least of our problems. Alright, so he goes right here. Okay. And then my thanks for caring is going to go lined up right. I could put it up here like I did on this one, or I could just put it right next to him. I don't know where I want to put it. Does anybody have an idea? Okay, maybe I'll just do it. I kind of like it up here because it's kind of, no, maybe I'll put it like right here. I'll make it different. All right, so he's done. Oh, you know what I forgot? But let me put her together and then we'll put the strings on our masks. All right, same thing. I'm just going to turn her over. I'm putting my dimensionals kind of at the joints like that. And I might put some on either side just because she's got a rather large head. It's the hair that makes her head so large. I like big hair. I don't know about you, but I like big hair. And boy, I haven't gone to the hairdresser or the nail salon. I did my own nails. You can see they're looking a little rough, but we all have to do our part just to kind of stay self-quarantined. And my roots are showing, but you know, I'll get it. I'll get it together. Okay. There we go. And I don't know why my little thing is not wanting to glue. So there is our card. Here's my little face that I wanted to show you. So let me come back. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciated this time. Let me know what you want to see, and maybe I'll come back later in the week with a live program. Leave me your comments. I'd really like to know how everyone is doing, and I really appreciate all you out there. Social distancing through crafting, and we can do this. So this is Kat Chancellor from Stamp Art Connection and StampArtConnection.com. Happy stamping and stay well.